Guys, I'm already back and we need to talk about a chart that I have found that has flashed this week a massive signal that is confirming for us that we are just at the beginning of this major altcoin run. And what, of course, Bitcoin is doing here in the short term. I will give you, of course, the best trade updates here once again with new setups. And I'm going to show you all the stuff that I have again prepared for you. So definitely don't miss out on any of that, because it's really important that we go through all of this here. Once again, showing you all my trades and so much more. And you know the drill, guys. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in here in my late afternoon, guys. So here, let's start right off with the really important chart that has kicked off the last major altcoin seasons here. I don't want to waste any time because I want to get as fast as possible to the altcoin section so that we can make here some money together, because altcoins are just going here absolutely through the roof. I have to look here. Yeah, so that's what I wanted. So let me explain what that chart is actually showing us. So this chart is showing us here on the weekly time frame golden crosses, and every time when we had golden crosses on the weekly time frame, we had massive uphill runs. So here in 2016, that was the halving year. That was personally my first halving, and I did not fully understand it at the time. So I only saw that my money that I had in Bitcoin at the time already basically doubled every single day for 6 days, you know, so more or less every single day for 6 days, my money just doubled. And I did not understand what it was until like the 3rd or 4th day or something, when I finally decided, while I was on holidays at the time, to read up about it. So, and around that time, you got also your golden cross. That's why you had here the 139% rally. Then you had the bull run in 2017, the biggest bull run ever, 2,200% return here only on Bitcoin, not on altcoins, but altcoins were also going absolutely ballistic that year. And then here in 2021, again, a golden cross on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, 1,200%. And just this week, at the beginning of the week, we just got another golden cross confirmed. And now we don't know how high we're actually going to go. But as you can see on this chart, it will be somewhere, what I always said, you know what I always said here, the top side will be somewhere around $200,000, $250,000 as like the most bullish scenario for me. If we go higher, nice, but I think around 200, 240,000 in that range, that is the absolute bull case for this cycle. So if we land there, from $60,000, that would be 400% diminishing returns, and that's absolutely fine. You know, so 4x with institutions in the market is still an insane amount of return that we are getting here. Now, over the course of the day, the DXY has dropped here now finally to the downside. I was hoping for that this will turn around, because it confirms what I had said for the last couple of days, that here the 99 point mark is the line in the sand from where we get the rejection and start this downwards trend here now into lower levels. Sorry guys that maybe my eyes look a little bit close. I'm super tired already. I'm working my ass off here, grinding like crazy, only for you, to give you the best content possible over the last days here. And doing 2 streams per day is actually quite exhausting. And while I on top of that have to manage my private life, you know, so, and going to the gym and all the other things, you know. But I'm here. I don't care. I said this to somebody else the other day. I can be tired. I can be tired in November, you know, so not now. Now is no sleep season for the next 3-4 months, you know. Now I make all the money that I want to make, then I can sleep. Sleep is now overrated. Don't care about sleep. I'm here to make money. I hope you too. So now let's move on here with Bitcoin. So here we are back in this bull pennant here. We tried today to break out of it, got for now rejected, which is fine. You know, so as long as we are staying in that pennant, we can keep consolidating here. Altcoins surprisingly holding up quite well with multiple moves that we had today already to the downside on the lower time frames. Don't forget, I have always another screen over here, over there, where I watch at any given time the shorter time frames on Bitcoin to see where potentially could be a pullback happening that will have an effect on my shorter term leverage trades. So I am like super focused at any given moment what's going on there, so that I can pull the plug if I need to, you know, so and protect my money. Yeah, so I'm thinking if I want to drink something because my lip just ripped here open again. This stupid medicament that I have to take for my skincare, but it's fine. So here, I still believe that we're going to get here before we get any major pullback in Bitcoin. I still believe that we're going to reach here around $130,000. Pretty convinced that this is going to happen first before we see here a move, most likely back to $115,000 approximately. It could also stop, yeah, between $120,000 and $115,000 is what I'm looking for once we are reaching here the golden ratio and getting that pullback here in the fourth wave of that Elliott wave count, and then the continuation into higher levels. So here, if you want to trade that specific bull pennant, like I said, you're not too late, but you want to wait that you get a breakout. If you're already in this trade, just hold it. You know, so just hold it. Nothing wrong with that, with holding that. Just remember yesterday's candle bottom, the low on that candle, on that wick, that is your stop loss. So that is your stop loss. That's also coinciding here with that stop loss. So just that you see that, it's the same, you know. So, and if you get stopped out there and we get then the breakout, just re-enter, you know, at the same level. Of course, you lost now a little bit of money, but not that much. So this is a 2.5% move to the downside. Okay, maybe 20. If you use 10x leverage, maybe you lose 25% of the money that you used, but you will make it up on the upside. You know, so this is almost a 10% move to the upside. So even if, let's say you have now $10,000, I just want to give you that quick example, 10K. Now you lose 2.5 because you get stopped out. So, but now you re-enter and it goes up 10% with the, and you use 10x leverage with 7.5K that you have left. So what did you do now? You know, so did you lose actually money? No, you didn't. Yes, you lost 2.5K here, but that the 7.5K is 100%. You know, so 100% return on the 7.5K that you still had left. So now you sit at 15K from originally 10K. So you are 5K now in profit. So that's why sometimes stop losses are not a bad thing, you know, if you have a stop loss. Of course, that hurts 2.5K to lose that, you know, or whatever amount you are using here in that what the actual amount you're using. But once that is breaking out, you will make that up. You know, so that's the whole point of it. You know, so that when you take a stop loss, that you actually will make that back when the trade is breaking out. So here we are currently below on the 4-hourly chart on the MDX algo scalp gradients, below the weekly open again. That's why we see here a little bit more of a pullback. Once we are reclaiming that, we gonna push straight here into the prior all-time high, in my opinion, really quickly. This what we are seeing here right now could be just a completion of the W pattern. What you see, it's a little bit distorted. If we come straight back up here now in the next 12 hours and coming above $121,000, but this is fine, you know. So we can go even all the way down here to the bottom of that buy cluster here, of that buy block. That would be still fine if we come here down to $117,700 and bounce from there back above the weekly open and then break here into higher levels. In terms of the candle colorization here, you should not forget that these are pinkish candles. You know, what happens after pinkish candles? You get red candles and get these parabolic moves here. Like over here, you know, here pinkish, bam, to the upside. Pinkish over here with a consolidation, bam, to the upside. So something like this should be happening here too, especially after you got here that super buy tag on the scalp gradient. So here on the react indicator, we are basically just chopping around here sideways until we get the next wave to the upside. Here on this 4-hourly chart, we are just retesting the 20 moving average. We are below that neckline here of $118,900. We have still 2 hours to close above that line. So if we close above that line, we will keep pushing also from there into higher levels. So here is the next short-term trade that I wanted to give you guys that you can look at, and that is here on the 1 hourly chart, this ascending triangle. So also here you see the upward sloping trend line of that ascending triangle is currently holding as support. And I want just to remind you how I trade these, so the best and the safest way to trade this is always when we break the neckline. So you want to wait for a 15, 30 minute candle close above that trend line to enter this. But if this turns against you, the trend line becomes the point where you add more to your position. So from there you add more every single time when we're touching it. Unless we are breaking it and it starts taking out here these lows. Now if it would, let me put it this way. If it bounces from here, breaks out, comes back and breaks here these lows, this is your stop loss down here. Then you're out. So, but now, would I enter this right now? No, because you don't know. Does it break below? Does it wick below? Does it create a deviation? You don't know. So for that simple reason, you wait that it breaks the neckline. And then you trade this into the technical target. And the technical target is all the way up here at $124,270. So even from here, from $120,300 approximately, this is another 3.3% move to the upside. So, and then of course here you have that stop loss a little bit tighter. So how low would I put this? Is this still a 2? Yeah, 1 to 2 is still fine for me. So I want to give Bitcoin here a little bit room to breathe. So that would be my trading setup. For Bitcoin, a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio is fine because you can use more leverage on Bitcoin than any other coin. So without that, you actually start sweating. Unless you use, of course, 50 or 100x leverage, which you should not do. But if you use like 10x leverage, I would sleep like a baby on 10x leverage. Also 20x leverage, I will still sleep like a baby. But if you do this on, let's say today on sushi, on Sushi Swap. If you do this right now, you put 20x leverage on that, you will not sleep. I guarantee you. Sleeping is not then on the menu for you, with a coin like that. Because you don't know, does it fall now 10%? Does it keep pumping another 10%? You just don't know, So, and for that simple reason, with a coin that pumped already 30%, that you don't want to go in with 20x leverage, So, but with Bitcoin, it's different because it's less volatile. So here, on the 15 minutes time frame, I honestly forgot what I wanted to show you guys here on the 15 minutes time frame, I think. Not good, guys. Not good, guys. It's because I'm already insanely tired that I forgot what I wanted to show you. No, I remember now. Again, entries. If you're looking for a more risky entry, always watch the stochastic RSI and the RSI, what they are doing. So here the stochastic RSI is about to bottom out and put in a buy signal, and the RSI is still pointing to the upside. So if you see here a reclaim of $119,200, here you see that is right now on the 15 minutes time frame, a support resistance flip line, I would take a risk to start building from there the position. And then you have another $1,000 before we break the neckline all the way. What is that? Around here. Yeah, so here. But that's just me, So if you want to trade with me together, guys, don't forget, we are making bank like crazy on BloFin right now. So sign up on BloFin, you get up to $5,000 in sign up and deposit bonuses, plus 20% cashback. There is a link in the description below, also in the chat. It's pinned up there, and also in the comment area after the stream. There will be also a link pinned for that. If you want to join the closed alpha trading group, guys, then you need to open a BloFin account, deposit $500, and write me or my team on Telegram or on Twitter, and we're gonna let you in. And I also want to remind you, if you deposit at least $100, you will not get into the group, but you will enter the giveaway, $500 giveaway, 5 people, again on Sunday. where I raffle the money away. You know, so you just need to sign up, deposit $100, and I raffle $500 away for 5 people. So also make sure that you are in that raffle. This week definitely we have more people already signed up than last week. You know, last week 1 person qualified. This week it's already, I think, over 20, if I saw that earlier correctly. So yeah, be fast because there's a high chance that you're actually gonna win here. So on the liquidation levels, not much has changed here. We're getting closer to the 50 moving average, and that starts to me to look like that the 50 is catching up with the price now, not the other way around. That price will come down to touch the 50. It looks more like that the 50 is catching up with the price and getting closer to the price. So with the next 4-hourly candle, we could see that the 50 is really close now to the price. And if price just keeps going here sideways for another 12 hours, another 12, 16 hours, that's more than enough, then we're going to touch the 50, and there we get our retest from where we're going to shoot into higher levels. At the same time, we will start liquidating everything that's up here between $121,900 and $122,800 approximately, the over-leveraged short positions here. And you're gonna see more density below us, more longs gonna open here on Bitcoin at the same time. So, and that again makes this range here a target. At some point, the music is going to stop, and this area here, this green box, will become a target. Snippet this, do what, yeah, just record it somehow, take a screenshot, you know, whatever. You're gonna see it. I was usually always right with this, you know, with these levels. I'm gonna tell you again, this is the major area that will be targeted, regardless how high we go. You know, so if we go to 125, 130, 135, and turn around from there, it doesn't matter. This is the major area that will be targeted to scare everybody out of their positions. You know, so imagine we go to 135, and then you get a wick like this to the downside. Everybody will think the bull market is over. You know, so which will be not the case. Just a normal correction in a bull market, and we're gonna have 3-4 of them, you know, usually where we move like between 10 and 25% in Bitcoin to the downside, and then altcoins, of course, going to bleed much harder. Here on the liquidation heat map, we see more short liquidity building up here. Remember, this was pretty small this morning. So this is now getting more concentrated in the $121,400 area, which is nice because that means if we push here a little bit higher, we're gonna trigger from there a short squeeze into a new all-time high. And that short squeeze will not stop before the prior all-time high and pushes us then with the rest of the fuel a little bit higher in direction of $125,000. And I want just to warn you here, $125,000 could be one of the areas where you get immediately a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 drop. Because again, this is a super round number, $125,000, and I could imagine that we gonna get here a 2, 3, 4, 5% move in one hourly candle to the downside, just as a huge rejection and to flush a lot of people on leverage out of the market. Now the dominance keeps dropping, which is amazing. So that looks already pretty good to close this current daily candle as it is below that low point here that we need the candle to be closing to get continuation. Again, don't be surprised if there is a bounce coming tomorrow to that trend line for a bearish retest, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you're gonna see that we keep dropping lower. So that can of course happen also tomorrow. We can just keep going lower here, but at some point you're gonna get that bounce, and that bounce will hurt us. If you are in altcoin positions, it will hurt you a lot when you get that bounce, because the faster we go down, the more volatile will be the bounce, and the more you're gonna feel it. You know, so you don't want to be in over-leveraged altcoin positions when this bounce is happening. I want to show you here the last time where we went more than 5 candles actually, to the downside. Oh, over there. So, but also that big. No, this is smaller. I look like for... This was the last altcoin season. Yeah, look at this here. This is a good example. The last altcoin season. So here you got overall a pretty nice move to the downside for a pretty sustained long amount of time. If you look at that, from the 9th, let's say, to the 24th, you know, so basically 2 weeks of downwards movement on the dominance, but then we started to chop sideways down. And in that period, altcoins did not really perform that insanely well anymore, because we were chopping sideways. But just after that, in April, that is where things started to get interesting. So here, when we get into this area of this cycle, what you want to do, first of all, you want to make sure when that period starts that you have money on the sideline. And if you have money sidelined, here, that is a reaccumulation phase. So some altcoins still going to pop here and there. Overall, they will be, of course, still higher than what they were before. But they will drop back like 20-30% lower than where they were over here. So, and for that simple reason, you want to have money on the sideline that you can then reallocate that in that sideways move, which is anyway an extended period, So this will again be a month potentially. It was roughly a month, 2 months last time. Yeah. So also here, roughly 2 months of sideways movement, and then you get the last final leg to the downsides. And that's why I believe we have like 3 to 6 months here of altcoin season right now for us. So in the total free market cap, it's like $0.01 trillion higher than it was earlier. So it was at 1.04, now it's at 1.05, but we went here as high as 1.07. Here you see I have drawn in that resistance area here, and this is like forever already on that chart. So if you're watching here for an extended amount of time over the last year or so, then you know that this box never really moved. So since we got here January, I think I started drawing this from last year, December. Okay, 7 months, still 7 months, almost 8 months, that I have that box here. So once we are breaking above that resistance area here of $1.06 trillion and close the daily candle above that, we are going for a new all-time high in total free market cap. So and that excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. That means everything else. In everything else, then Bitcoin and Ethereum is money going and going absolutely bananas, and that's what we want to see here. So that is everything else. That's, for example, Solana. Solana really, really important that we talk about Solana, because Solana is lagging behind like crazy. So when you compare that to Ethereum, so there was no real Solana rotation yet. So and that's why I have currently opened a new Solana position that I'm going to show you here in a moment. But you see the Ethereum Bitcoin chart is going absolutely crazy. So the last time a candle like that happened in May, by the end of May, where we had a candle like that. So we needed to wait 2 months to get a God candle, on Ethereum. So and that's why Ethereum is keep going higher and higher and higher. But right now it's stalling a little bit, which is normal because of the resistance that we are facing for Ethereum. But here, most likely the end could be here 0.03178 Bitcoin against Ethereum on that chart, because there is a massive multi-year resistance line, and there that's I think where this weekly candle is going to stop. So if we close that, then in that shape, so again, 2 things can happen. Ethereum can just keep going higher, what many people believe is going to happen, or you get here already a small shakeout where we come down, retest this neckline here of that W pattern that we put in, and then you get the following week a nice move into the next resistance level all the way up here to 0.0353. Like I mentioned earlier, I have multiple trades running here. One of them is Aptos, which is finally exploding, $6,100 roughly here, 40%. My AVI trade up 80%. If you want to trade altcoins with me, most of my altcoin trades are still happening on a Bybit, guys. You get up to $30,000 in sign-up and deposit bonuses there, plus a Bybit card. My new Bybit card is most likely coming already tomorrow, so I'm gonna show it to you. Gonna do the unboxing here on the stream for that card. And trust me, I'm not a really patient guy with stuff like that, but I'm gonna keep it back. I'm gonna hold it back for you that you can see that, and I do it here live on the stream with you. But of course, I'm gonna not show you the card numbers, but I'm going to show you the card, so because you get 20% cashback right now on these Bybit cards. So you should definitely check that out, especially in a bull run where you want to save every single cent and keep it in the market, you want to make sure that you actually get money back when you spend money, you know. So I only use cards right now where I have cash back on them, you know, otherwise I'm not using it. I actually don't have a real bank card right now, you know. I have only crypto cards with cash back. That's the only thing that I have. So here, Ethereum, as I just mentioned, just keeps going, you know, so I cannot say anything else, just keeps going, you know. So, and the next major resistance comes in here at $3,740. And then here, that resistance area at $3,820 to $3,870. And like I mentioned this morning already, I believe that here the party stops for Ethereum. You know, so I would be really surprised if we go straight through this past $4,000 and then come back down. That would be, of course, again, a really nice flush, because then the next level that we would come down to would be roughly $3,300, $3,500, somewhere in that range would be then the pullback zone and the level from where we can open new positions to run then Ethereum into a new all-time high. Right now, even here on other time frames, there is let me look, but I think even on a 15 minutes time frame, yeah, even on a 15 minutes time frame, I don't find an entry right now, you know. So if I wanted to trade this, you have to wait for a break of $3,680 and take then the risky trade. You know, there is not much room to go here to the upside anymore. So you have to use, yeah, okay, 5%. Best, yeah, 4 to 5%. Not bad, but like, yeah, I would anyway use 10% on an Ethereum trade, but you cannot use 20x anymore, you know, so I would not use 20x, you know, because we are so close to hit a resistance, a major key resistance, that it makes no sense. You know, the risk is just too big. You want to, after such a parabolic move, rather wait for a pullback and enter in that pullback. Now, when we are going to Solana, so Solana, now I was up already $1,000 on my trade. Now it starts dumping a little bit because Bitcoin is going down again. Bitcoin is absolutely chopping around here right now in that range that it's trapped in. But it's fine, it's fine. So here Solana tries to stay above $180 roughly. On the indicators, it looks like that we're gonna get continuation, at least earlier. Yeah, okay, now they turned around because we moved here down. But this can change again, you know, this 1 hourly candle just opened. So maybe give it another 12 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to turn around here. If we get above here $181 again, everything will turn around again. You know, so that just basically happened a minute ago that everything turned here down because Bitcoin is going down here a little bit, but that can happen. That can change really quickly. So I opened a trade from 179.83, basically from the top side, more or less, of that potentially new support level here, because the next major target for Solana will be all the way up here. $205, $207, $212, and that's what I'm targeting with that trade that I have currently, and I put a lot of money in that trade. So I have still money sidelined to add more if I need to. I'm gonna show you that in a moment here, but yeah, I'm definitely trading this into higher levels. Let me see, where is my BloFin account? So here, positions. So here you see I have here almost $20,000 in that trade. So and now I'm down $600 on that trade, you know, but I was up like 2 minutes ago, I was up $1,200, you know. So then Bitcoin decided to make a move here to the downside, and it's dumping a little bit on the 15 minutes as I see this here right now. Let's see, where's the 50 minutes chart again? There. So looking at this move to the, yeah. So, but here's support. And as long as we are not breaking this short-term support, see, we are bouncing a little bit from this. As long as that level is holding, we will move back to the upside, and then Ethereum will recover. You know, honestly, altcoins holding up pretty well here right now in that candle here to do, yeah, in that bearish engulfing candle here on a 15-minute time frame. So I'm not really concerned about this. Now, other trades that we can take. So Uni is one of the trades where I would be a little bit careful with, but there is the potential that if we are closing here at least above $10.20, that tomorrow's candle will straight go for the kill of $12.42 straight away. No breaks, just pure bullishness pushing through. So again, if you want to find entries for something like that, I like to look for consolidation. And here I see a bull flag pattern shaping up. Here, pennant, sorry, a bull pennant. That's what I see here. So if this breaks to the upside, there you have already $12.15 on the map, you know, so if that breaks it to the upside in the next coming hours. So, and that is stuff that I'm looking for. I look for patterns, I look for cooldown indicators, I look for resistance areas that we are breaking potentially to find entry levels. And that's the only way you can trade a coin like that in a bull market, you know, that went already up 20% today or even higher than that. Anything else makes no sense. So, or you set up your support lines, you know, and know where we are potentially coming back to retest certain levels. Like here, $9.67, or here, like I just said, $10.20-ish. And then you wait for that pullback and enter from there. So that is the only chance how you can still take advantage of a coin like that. So I had something else prepared. So Bitcoin Cash, was this chart? No, it was another one, I think. Was with Polkadot? No. BNB. So I think we should talk about BNB because we are close to price discovery for BNB. Here, the all-time high is $793, and we are 5% away, basically, 5.5% away, more or less, to break that all-time high. So when this all-time high is broken, we go into price discovery. I think BNB will not stop before we get here into the 1.618 area, into the golden pocket. Here from $989 to $1,035. Trust me, guys, you're gonna see BNB at over $1,000 in this cycle. You know, so it's only 25% to get to $1,000. BNB will do that. You know, in the next 4 weeks, in my opinion. Next 4 weeks, you're gonna see BNB at $1,000. Then XTZ Tezos. Really, really old project. I met a lot of the original team members in Paris. They had always, some of the founders of Tezos, they had a round table every Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday. It was Tezos Tuesday, what they called it in Paris. Yeah, in 2016. 2016 or 2017? 2017, yes. That's when it was. In 2017, Tezos Tuesday was in Paris. You can Google it. I was there a couple of times, met some people from Tezos there. So really old project. This is right now breaking the W pattern. We were all the way up here to the next resistance. Here again, major key resistance, got rejected from that on the daily chart, but also here you can trade this if we are closing above 60, basically 70 cents. If we're closing today above 70 cents, it would be still a good entry here to trade the overall W pattern here. I will give you the technical target for this. So here, technical target, roughly 90 cents of the W formation. Also here, Tezos in the past, look here how fast last year we ran here, I think almost to $2. Yeah, close to $2, $1.90. So that took here 15, that was like 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, we ran here over 2x, 2.5x to the upside within 3 weeks, guys. And the move came once we broke here 75 cents. Look here, 75 cents, that level broken, explosion. And I think over here the same. Yeah, here the same. Here, broke this level, explosion. Also here, broke this level, explosion. So that's why you need to keep an eye on that. And that's also the reason why I was not surprised that we got here such a rejection from Tezos from that level. Because when it breaks that, it will take off like a rocket to the upside. And that's why it's better to be in the market and wait than trying to time the market, you know, because when you try to time the market, usually you get left empty-handed. Oh, now Bitcoin moves here definitely a little bit lower. This is crazy. Guys, let me know in the chat. So I wanted to make this more about altcoins here, but should we have a quick look here on what's happening with Bitcoin. Let me know in the chat quick, and I will take a sip here because my mouth gets super dry, and that will also help with me being so tired here. Um, 10x for altcoins, unless it's Ethereum, it's definitely too risky. I will not use 10x on altcoins. Way too risky right now. Wow, the delay here between me saying something and until you see this in the chat is crazy, guys. I did not think that the delay is so big, but it's quite a little bit. It's quite a little bit. Can I change that while we are on stream? No, I think I... Can I? No, I cannot. Too bad, too bad. So what should we do, guys? More altcoins, or do you want to talk about Bitcoin? So I give you why both scenarios are favorable. You know, if we talk about, keep talking about altcoins while Bitcoin is dropping, you will potentially catch some pullback zones, you know, but if we look at Bitcoin, while it's dropping, we can find out if these pullback zones are obsolete, and we need to look at lower levels, and if we find a good entry for Bitcoin. Okay, so we have here... Okay, we have already 2 people for Bitcoin. Okay, let's have a look here on Bitcoin. Here, look. Yeah, so now we are breaking this short-term support line. Not good. I would like to see in the next 3 minutes a reclaim, or in the next 15-minute candle, a reclaim of that. I'm wondering what's causing this right now. I'm gonna check on my phone at the same time if I find something here on Twitter, if there's a reason. So usually I find stuff like that. So let's see if I can find here anything. No, there's the bounce already. So there's the bounce coming. So yeah, in the next 2 minutes, if we close above $118,200, that was just a small flush, you know, over leveraged long positions getting flushed here, and then back to normal, you know. So everything back to normal, continue with daily business and going back up. So let's see. Yeah, I also see it in my Solana position here. It's also already regaining momentum here. So, but we need this candle to close in a minute 44 above $118,200. Let's see, how is the 5-minute chart looking? Are we here at the bottom? Yeah, so here that candle is already bouncing. Yeah, the next candle should, yeah, here, RSI going to the upside. If this stays like this for until the candle closes, then we should get here continuation above that trend line again. Oh, it's also a 30-minute candle close. Let's see how... Yeah, we are bottoming out on the stochastic on the 30 minutes. Getting here soon oversold on the RSI. I think that's just a move to scare people out of their positions. And it's also basically an indecision candle. You have here almost the same length of the wick to the up and to the downside. So that's called a Darth Maul candle, an indecision candle, where market makers trying to push it either way, and then it doesn't work, you know. So they try to push it higher, get rejected. They try to push it lower, get rejected. That's where you get these wicks from. So and that means there's indecision in the market in which direction we should go right now. So, and that usually means you just keep chopping sideways, you know, for an extended amount of time until you get clear direction. You know, one side will give in, and then in that direction will the move then go either to the upside or to the downside. So, and I actually are happy that we get a move like this right now, because this is basically a small test, you know, so of that bigger correction that's coming. So, and I'm not really mad about this to see this. So here you see a new 30-minute candle. But honestly, like I said, if we're not reclaiming here soon, in the next 50 minutes, that level, we are risking to go a little bit lower. But here, price pushes already back to the upside. So yeah, so maybe that's it already. You know, maybe that's it already here. Yeah, stochastic tries to put in a buy signal. Yeah, but we need more strength here. The candle needs to grow fast now. Needs to reclaim really fast here back to the upside. The other thing is this candle here is a vector candle, a fair value gap. And that gets quickly filled. So here all the way up to $119,000. So I'm pretty sure within the next hour, maybe even faster than that, it goes at least up here to retest this level. Doesn't mean that we stay there, but retest it to fill that fair value gap that we have. So I'm gonna go back now to altcoins again. So here's also the deal, guys. Usually in the morning, I try to be more Bitcoin and Ethereum focused. And in the evening, I try be more altcoin focused, you know. So of course, I'm still gonna give you altcoin trades in the morning, but the evening stream is where we actually talk more about altcoins, you know, where you can also give me all the altcoins that you want me to look at, you know. So I'm gonna have here a quick look again on the chat, what's happening here. So let me have a quick look. Let me see. XRP, I would not enter XRP right now. Pump.fun that coin is a scam in my opinion. You know, it's lower than the ICO price. You know, so and I know people. I don't know how they did this. I know a girl. From Twitter. She put in $500,000 in the pre-sale. This is insane. You know, so that is not normal that you can in a pre-sale put in $500,000. I had never the option in a pre-sale to go in with $500,000. The highest ever that I got into a pre-sale with was $100,000. That is the cap, you know. And I was not as big on YouTube as I'm now because projects, of course, want something in return. Not that you just give them money; they want also that you help them to grow the project. So and my normal check size was $10,000 to $25,000. I never got even offered like something above that unless I had connections, you know. Like if I would have like write to a project and say, hey, I want to invest, you know, they would have said, okay, what can you do? You know, how big is your channel, etc., etc. And then they would say, okay, you can do like $10,000, you know, and I'm like, okay. But like $100,000, I did this two times $100,000, yeah. So like $500,000 in like a public pre-sale is crazy, you know. So then that just showed me that this is just a money grab, you know. So don't invest in projects like that, you know. So they made enough money on the fees already. And then they got greedy and just wanted more money. So let's have a look here on more altcoins. I was over here. So here, yeah. So for Solana, quickly before I move on, just a retest here of the bottom range of that small support area here at $176. And then we should turn around and push here up again. So yeah, I was talking about Tezos. Let me see here. Injective. Oh, Injective getting rejected from the resistance area here before we break the neckline. So, and also rejection at the downward sloping trend line here at the same time. So these are big resistance areas, not gonna lie, for Injective. So, that will give you opportunity to potentially enter here a new trade. So if this comes back to the original entry here of $12.83, immediately do this. You know, get into that trade. So if this turns to be out a topping candle and tomorrow it comes down to that old entry level here, enter from there. So there's your entry. Or the other entry is the break of this downward sloping trend line. So now if you enter from there, you make a little bit less money all the way up here, but it's still roughly 35%, a little bit more than 35%. Oh, come on. And your stop loss is my old entry. So and you see here the risk to reward ratio is absolutely fine on a trade like that. I want to have a look here. Let's see here in the chat. on my account is currently running Ton and Solana, but Solana is not doing well right now. Look here, I'm down $2,000, and on Ton I'm down $300. But again, I'm not worried about this, you know. So let it even come down here to the 50 moving average on Solana. Is that the 50? 60 moving average on the 1 hourly chart at $173. I don't care, you know. So this will keep breaking higher soon. So I'm not worried about this. And I have more money on the side to average down the position, you know. And then also Ton. I think I spoke about Ton earlier. I did speak about Ton this morning. So here also 1 inch. Remember how quick that moved to the upside after I called it from the downward sloping trend line. Here, I believe we could see a retest. Another one, we got yesterday one, a sniper retest here, into that green at area, also the underlying golden ratio. So if we actually get this, then also here, buy. You know, that is a 10% move almost, all the way to the bottom of the golden pocket here. You want to get in this, you know, so because the next leg will be again as explosive as the previous one. And it will go to 50 cents, 50, 53 cents. What you are seeing right now across the market is just the consolidation before you get the next breakout. So, and when the consolidation is over, you want to get in when these downward sloping trend lines are breaking. You know, it doesn't matter in which shape or form they are showing up. You know, when I go into a 4 hourly chart, so here is, so here it depends how you want to draw that, you know, so you can draw it like this, but you could also draw it like this, you know, so here you have more touch points. I like personally that a little bit more, but you could also say, okay, I want to be safe, and this is actually for me, this or this is how you draw that neckline, you know, that that downward sloping trend line. So that would be then at 35 cents roughly, 35, 36 cents. Yeah, depends on how you want to see that, you know. So, but if I take this here a little bit lower, then this line is right now at 34 cents roughly, 34 cents, but also below the 0.786 Fibonacci level. So here again, you have a convergence of two resistances overlapping, and you might want to wait that the 0.786 level gets broken. Oh, I have to get to a higher time frame. Here, 34 cents. Yeah, 34 cents. You want basically to wait that 34 cents is broken, because then you get the continuation move to the upside. So this happens all the time, guys, all the time. You know, you get, let me actually draw this quick here. On many coins, you're gonna get an impulse move like this. Then you get here a sideways move like this. And then you get the next impulse move to the upside. So that happens all the time. So here in this scenario, so this looks like a bull flag, you know. So and then when we are breaking here the upper side of that bull flag, you know. So when we are breaking all these resistance tests here, and we are breaking it with confirmation, that is when we want to enter and get the next and write the next impulse move here into higher levels. So then AVI was something that I wanted to show you. So AVI still consolidating here in an ascending triangle. Again, it's just a consolidation phase before you get continuation. Here right now, if you're not already in that trade setup, I had given this here somewhere. I had given this a couple days ago when you had actually the chance to enter at these levels here. So Tuesday. Wow, yeah, forgot already that's Friday. I thought for a second it's Thursday. That just shows you again how tired I'm actually right now. But that's fine. So if you're in this trade right now already and you have traded this here all the way up to the neckline of the ascending triangle, and we're coming back now to the upward sloping support, you can add along that support as long as we are holding this, you know. So anyway, if you're in that trade, your stop loss is down here, you know. So that is still far away, you know. That's like a 10% move to the downside. So there's no real risk if you keep adding here right now to your position along this trend line. And otherwise you add, if you want to add that breakout of that ascending triangle, or you open from there a new position, you know, but don't start opening positions from that upward sloping trend line. You know, that is support. If that support gets broken, you get immediately wrecked, you know, so on that new position. Don't do that. Then rather wait for confirmation of the break of that ascending triangle and trade it then. And the target, I just want to show that to you. I think I've never done this on this one. Technical target is $362.67. So now I'm gonna go quick in the chat and see what you guys want. Guys, give me some coins here in the chat, and then I'm gonna have a look at them. Oh, Sui is actually a good one, because Sui is pulling back here quite nicely right now. So, but I'm gonna give you a better chart, a better Sui chart. I just need to figure out where is my Sui chart. I think it's here. Is this my Sui chart? Let's see. Yeah, this is my Sui chart. So first of all, here on the daily chart, we had broken above $3.60, the downward sloping trend line, which was really important. And here, see the same thing again, what we had earlier on Tezos. Same thing happened. We broke the first resistance, and then we went into the multi-month resistance and got rejected from there, and came now back to the underlying resistance and retesting this right now as support. Oh wow, there's a proper drop in Bitcoin right now. So here I would wait. Let me see, do I have indicators on here? Yeah, so here I have indicators. So let's see here. What does the 50 minutes chart look like? Here, if you get really lucky, so I don't believe that we are actually getting that lucky, that we come back down here into the golden ratio of $3.60, because there's another, what is this? A 5% move to the downside? Yeah, 6-7% move to the downside. Yeah, you see here, that green area here is huge buy cluster. So if when Bitcoin stops dropping and Sui is still somewhere here in that area, you can long it from there if you don't have a Sui position right now. I might also personally, on a smaller scale, long it from there to the upside. And then you trade this into $4.23 from there. So let's say you get in at $3.89 roughly. So here, that is almost a 10% move, like a 9% move to the upside that you can catch here. And that's basically just a bounce trade, you know, so just a bounce trade. So now Bitcoin bounces again a little bit, but I think they're going now for liquidity. Let's see here. Yeah. You see we're below the 50 moving average on Bitcoin. They're gonna try and break here $117,000 potentially. But we have over an hour, and I believe in that hour we're gonna close above the 50 moving average, that we are not getting here further downwards movement on Bitcoin. But I must say again, altcoins holding up better than what I expected, so way better than what I expected. Let me have here a look in the chat again for other coins. Aptos, yeah, also Atom. I'm gonna have a look at Atom, ONDO and Ton, and then I'm gonna leave. So that's what I'm gonna do. So Aptos, I just need to look here which Aptos chart I want to look at. Aptos, is here the Aptos chart? Yes, that is my Aptos chart. So here we go, guys, here we go. So here, W pattern breakout is what we actually got here when you look at this. So here, there was a small W pattern that broke out. That's where we are flying right now. So in this W pattern, has a technical target of $6.65. So right now, oh wow, nice bounce in Bitcoin. So right now, this could be a good moment to take a risk and enter this trade from current levels. I would potentially risk that from here, because it looks like that Bitcoin finally decided to get here a proper bounce on the 50 minutes chart. And if Bitcoin catches itself here and gets its shit again together, then altcoins will keep flying from here. So that this is also something that I cannot stress enough in a bull run. If you get an intraday flush like that, all these small pullbacks are either for adding to your positions or to open new positions. You know, so because coins pulling back 3, 4, 5, 6% in a flush like that, and then they shoot up another 20% within 24 hours. You know, so all these small pullbacks are for buying, guys, when you are seeing them. So here's a new 15-minute candle. So if that 15-minute candle is now pushing back above $118,000, then this was nothing more than a quick shakeout, an intraday shakeout, from where we get then continuation into higher levels. You see here we are like 0.5% already higher on Aptos. Also, my Solana trade was over $2,000 in minus. It's now just $1,000 negative. So that will also turn around quickly again. So yeah, looks not bad. Looks not bad what I see here. So I said Aptos, ONDO, yes. So here, something else that I want to mention here for Aptos. Once we break here $6.34, Aptos will fly. I don't see Aptos stopping before $8. Once we are breaking $6.33, is this 33? Yeah, $6.33. So let me see now, where do I have an ONDO chart? Here. Yeah, so here W formation, same thing. We got close to the neckline of the W from where we got currently rejected. You see also massive rejection. It's so easy to spot all of this. You know, why did we get rejected? Because this was strong support. And here it turned into massive resistance. And then also here in the past, look at that crazy move to the downside, that rejection from that trend line. So when you see something like this, be not surprised that the first attempt always fails usually. You know, so there's a high probability that the first attempt to break this, when we come closer to that line here, is usually failing. You know, so but then by tomorrow you could see something like this where we actually go above that and then it starts flying really quickly. So, and if you are looking to build here a position, so right now you're kind of trapped in no man's land. You know, so you are here. You can technically draw here a line where we're currently sitting at $1.02, yeah, $1.02.5. So as long as we are holding above $1.02 here, I just gonna say $1.02. If we close today above that level, I would risk taking a position from there if I wanted to trade ONDO. So I would risk it from there. So and already here move to like the neckline to $1.11 is like a 7, almost an 8% move here, where you can trade with 5x. You know, you make 40%. That's already a good amount. You know, you get out, you wait if you break that neckline, because there's again a chance, even with a second attempt, that you come one more time down here, then just a little bit higher, and then the third attempt is where we are going to break this. Yeah, still not really happy with what I see on Bitcoin, but my altcoin position is doing a little bit better. So then the last one was TON. TON. Yeah, so here TON. Oh. First, so here that short-term, no, not short-term. So that resistance area here, just below the neckline of the W pattern, is where we get currently rejected. But it's a small rejection, to be honest. It's not insane. You know, it's a 2% rejection right now. So here in the next coming days, I definitely see a break, not only of that line, but also here of $3.48. And then here the W pattern target is $4.18. And basically that high here, that high. This is the first point where I take on my leverage position profit. And then I'm going to wait, because from there could be a stronger rejection coming. And then I trade the continuation. So when I see that TON will start pulling back from that level here, from that prior high, then I'm gonna break, and then I'm gonna trade that breakout with the profits from the trade that I took from all the way down here from that trend line. That's how I'm gonna play that. And then I trade this potentially into new all-time high. So I actually forgot where was the all-time high for TON. Was it over $10? No, but close. It was close. It was $8. Yeah, $8. It was $8 $1.30. Guys, I'm going to run here right now. I need to feed the cats for my girlfriend. As I said, I'm super tired. I tried to sleep today a little bit earlier so that I'm fresher tomorrow. And I was also the first time in 2 days in the gym again. So I'm really, really tired. I need to sleep, guys. I need to sleep. But I will be back tomorrow morning again. In my early morning, you have no clue how early it is here in Kiev for me when I do the first stream, you know. So I get up at 5 to make at 6, 7 in the morning the stream, guys. You know, it's really early for me. So, but I'm still doing that, you know. So and now it's time for getting dinner, feeding the cats, and then I try to relax the rest of the day, guys. Make sure that you are well rested, and I'm gonna see you then again tomorrow. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money tomorrow.